In his or her mind, this is the most important reason. Fine. Nobody is going to say no. Nobody is going to judge them. At IELTS, it's fine. Welcome to IELTS Juice. Today, we have an essay to assess, score, and improve. And it's about, well, the working class, the people like you and me who work. You might also study. That's not considered work, but it doesn't matter. With that in mind, let's look at the rubric here. And the rubric says, many working people get little or no exercise either during the working day or in their free time and have health problems as a result. Okay, so what I understand from the rubric, before I go ahead and read the questions, is that we're going to talk about working people. People are at job, at any position. Might be just a security guard or a janitor, all the way to different levels of employees and different levels of management, all the way to the CEO or the board of directors or the investors. Anybody who works and they're adults get little or no exercise, so it's not enough. The amount of exercise they get is not enough. And it's during the working day or not even when they're free. So it doesn't matter whether they work during the day at a workplace, they don't do exercise, or it's during the evening or at night when they are at home, again, they don't do exercise. So what's the deal here? And sadly, because of their behavior, they have health problems. And they have health problems, obesity, multiple heart problems, mental issues, maybe depression or other things. And also maybe family issues, relationship issues, financial issues that force them to have bad diet, so dietary issues. Again, it leads to multiple issues. You just need to pick one or two. I mean, basically two, minimum two of them. Now let's look at the questions. Why do many working people not get enough exercise? That's a very good question. And we can just go ahead and say one thing. For example, money. They want money, they work day and night, they work 2 shifts, 3 shifts, they sleep only 4 hours a day, they work 100 hours a week. We can go ahead and do that. That works. But I prefer something like, yeah, when they don't exercise, why don't they exercise at work? And why don't they exercise at home? I would rather divide this question into 2 sections and come up with 2 solutions. That's my preference anyway. What can be done about this? So now it's the part where we come up with solutions. So you have 2 questions. They're in separate lines. This in the IELTS community might be called a 2-part question. So you have 2 questions and you need to address them separately. That's also an indication that you need to devote at least 1 paragraph to each question. Try not to merge these 2 questions. That's a difficult essay. It's very difficult to write. It doesn't even necessarily give you an extra mark. So that's not necessary. But focus on developing each question properly. I'm saying at least 1 body paragraph to these questions. You can write 2. Maybe this one has 2, the second one has two solutions. You can write 1 solution for 1 paragraph and another solution for another paragraph. Your decision. Now, based on that, let's look at the candidate's response. The hectic lifestyle of an employee does not have her with much time, does not leave her, with much time to do exercise. I wouldn't pluralize it. Exercise. Neither in weekday nor weekends. Neither in weekdays nor on weekends. Neither on weekdays nor on weekends. That in return caused them, it was first her, but now it's them. We could use them here as well. Caused them to face many health problems. Okay, we just said many health problems. We didn't mention exactly what. It's the first sentence. I understand. It's also a paraphrase of the rubric. I also understand. Let's move on. The majority of employees declared. Why is it all of a sudden past simple? Shouldn't it be declare? Because we're talking about a hot topic. Okay. Declare that employers and companies are responsible for such a case. And there are several approaches to tackle, I don't need this, this problem, sorry. Okay. This is good. It gives me the framework what to expect. I don't like the approach that we have employers, companies' responsibility as why many people, many working people, even managers don't do exercise. That's okay. Apart from that, I understand we're going to first talk about this, exactly like the rubric. And secondly, we're going to talk about the ways to solve this issue, and that would be later on in the essay. Okay, I'm ready to read. One main reason that workers, maybe that's a typo. We have nothing to do with walkers. Workers do not find time is the abundance of workloads that they receive daily. All right, that's the first reason. If it's the first reason, I assume there's going to be a second reason and a third reason. And the problem right now for me is that we need a better topic sentence here to cover all these reasons. And we don't have it here. Let me read. Adam Johnson, okay, who works at Apple Incorporation as an operations manager, said that most of the time accumulated workload on his desk does not allow him to have his lunch. I need a comma here. This has to be does because it goes back to workload, which is singular, uncountable. Okay. Many other workers, like Adam, also shed light. You shed light. That's the term. On the high expectations of their employees, I need a comma here, which puts them under pressure, which puts them under pressure, not on their pressure. But I don't like to start sentences with and, with but, with or. So maybe we should say, in contrast, it is not always the company's fault. Okay. Many of the workers, many workers, we shouldn't limit. Many workers are not aware of the importance of regular exercise and consider, I don't need they, because this is the same subject, the workers, and they consider it as a trivial matter. I love the word trivial. This point is not developed very well here. We have only one sentence, and we just said one reason. We didn't say another reason. Are we going to say another reason here? No. This paragraph is about solutions. So we just said one reason. We addressed the question, good, but we just said one main reason, and as a reader, I am left with the question that, okay, what are the other reasons, other main reasons? You know, maybe it was best we basically avoided saying this, and we could say, okay, the most important reason that workers do not find blah blah blah, and then we continued, because it's a matter of opinion. It's an opinion that comes from the writer, so it's the writer's own opinion, and he or she has every right to own an opinion. In his or her mind, this is the most important reason. Fine. Nobody is going to say no. Nobody is going to judge them. At IELTS, it's fine. And that would have prevented this confusion right now, or this thirst in me that I'm thirsty for another reason, but I'm not given that reason. And by the way, I'm going to take back the topic sentence. If you are not going to talk about another reason, then basically it's one reason, then yeah, this could be an okay-ish topic sentence. I mean, we still need to improve it. We still need to improve it. So stay tuned. We're going to improve it. And in the description below, you will see the link. You can click and you can see the improved version of this already. Let's move on. To overcome this problem, numbers of measure. Usually it's like a number of measures, not numbers of measure. That's a bit weird. A number of measures should be taken into account. So let's see, a number of measures. Firstly, companies could allocate a space and time. I understand a space, it means a room, like an area, and some time. Maybe we could go ahead and be a little specific, like 20 minutes, instead of saying just time. To workers to exercise at work. For instance, Google provides its, there's a missing T here, employees, the personal trainer, not the personal trainer, personal trainers who are available at the same location of the company. Secondly, if employees do not want to exercise during their working hours, it would be a logical solution to register them at a fitness club. I don't need hyphen here. In the vicinity of the company, or in the company's vicinity. Therefore, they might be convinced to, I think the writer wanted to say not a lot, but to allocate, to allot time to exercise. A lot means allocated, but it's not spelled like this. Yeah, it has two L's. To allot time to exercise. In conclusion, not only the employers, but also employees are responsible for neglecting, are responsible, not or, are responsible for neglecting the significance of exercise. Thus, governments must regulate laws for companies and enforce them to dedicate time and money to employees. To employees' health and exercise, that kind of law, but it's not given to us here. No, we shouldn't just give money to employees. I mean, I understand this is a healthy sentence. The message is not the one that we expected it to be. Instead of giving them time directly or money directly, it's better to give them space and some time to exercise at work, or register them at a fitness club outside, out of the working hour, and then they can actually start working there and things like that. So, but not giving them money. 270 words. So let's look at the band descriptors. There you are. Nice. Okay, I can say, number one, In coherence and cohesion, the organization of the information was really logical, not sequential. Let's just say we did not follow this exact sequence, especially for the solutions. There is a progression, correct. We also did not use some discourse markers accurately, or maybe they were used a bit too mechanically. And the referencing issues, there were just a couple of instances where we had some referencing issues. And paragraphing was quite fine. So basically, we need to work on better transition from one sentence to another. And I love the range of vocabulary, and there were attempts like a lot to, instead of allocate, which is pretty much synonym, but it wasn't spelled accurately. And then, yes, there were really some errors in vocabulary, and there were some errors also in grammar and punctuation. Yeah, I also struggled with some of the sentences. Yeah, those complex sentences came with, in some cases, even a bit lower levels of accuracy than simple sentences. All right, and the task response, yeah, we just maybe focused a little bit on the elements that frankly made it a bit too general. There were instances I wanted better information, more in-depth knowledge, examples for all. Remember, it's not just one example for the entire essay. Every main opinion or idea you mention has to be fully developed. And every opinion deserves proper development. If only one of them fails, then the score fails. That's the sad truth about scoring at IELTS. Well, I guess 6 is a healthy score. If you wish to see other samples in essays and letters or reports, you can click over here. You can, of course, subscribe up there down below. And I hope I'll be assessing your essay, letter, or report next time. Take care.